Here is the pedal. It's reasonably sized. It's about the height of a. I haven't got one next to it to compare it, but about the height of a Boss compact pedal. Got the connectors on the back. Input, output, and DC power. That's standard Boss center negative power. It's this sort of grey colour, silver, powder coated. It will be printed as well with the design and labels, etc. The knobs are aluminium. They're machined aluminium. They're not plastic. I did try and find something, the same as an IC100. This was kind of the closest I could find to something that looked like H&H. The controls we've got clean volume, sustain volume, presence, treble, bass, and that engages the pedal. That engages the sustain. So you've got the H&H clean channel and the sustain on there. It's the same as the original IC100 in that it's fixed gain. It's not a generic drive pedal. It's as close to authentic recreation of the IC100 circuit. So it has a fixed drive, but it does have these separate volume controls, so you can balance the clean and overdrive. The switches here, we've got normal and bright, so you can just switch between normal and bright inputs. Those are just like on the original amp, and this is a buffer. If you engage that buffer when it's up, you'll get a higher input impedance. The input impedance on the IC100, because it's going straight into a bipolar op amp 741, is quite low, and it loads the pickups quite a lot. So in the down position, you get the authentic experience of it loading your pickups, which is quite possibly what you want. But if you did want the sound of a buffer in front, as I often do, you can put that up, and you'll get a lot less top end loss. Okay. I expect some of you are interested to see inside, so let's have a look inside. It's a there's two boards. There's a main board. It's predominantly surface mount, of course. The controls, the pots are all mounted on the other side. Those are Alpha pots, so good quality. Those are mounted on the other side, and the switches as well. I think those are CK Electronics, so again decent quality switches. So that's all mounted the other side. The input jacks are Nutrix, so again high quality. This is a little bodge here because I omitted the hole for the grounding screw on this prototype box, so I've bodged the wire in there, but the real one won't have that. You can see we've got the charge pump circuit here, so that enables us to run at plus minus 9 volts rather than just 9 volts, so that's more realistic for the op amps. It also gives us a positive 18 volt rail for running the, you can see over here the discrete EQ, active EQ section. So this is the buffer. That's a FET input op amp TL071. The rest are 741s, like the original. I'm slightly amazed that 741 made it into SMT production, but it did. So you've got the gain stages the same as they are on the IC100, and as I said, the two transistor discrete feedback active EQ stage is here as well for all the authentic sound. All the capacitors are Panasonic. They're all high quality Panasonic long life ones. All the electrolytics. Ceramics are all COG where appropriate. I think the only non-COG ones are on the decoupling on the power rails there. There's a few film capacitors in there for higher values. Those are the only through-hole parts. Down here we've got the foot switches. It's true bypass, if you like that expression. It's hard bypass, not buffered. You can see through there the LEDs secured to the board, and this sort of daughter board here. There's a Gorva, good quality light action foot switches. So it should all it's all made with decent quality components. So yeah, this is the how the inside looks. Pan around. I'm just going to have a look at this on the scopes, because it's kind of interesting to see what it's doing. You'll have to excuse my very messy workbench. So I'm just feeding it a that 200 volt peak to peak, 200 millivolt peak to peak sine wave. It's running off, like I said, 9 volts. That's bypassed. Let's engage the pedal. Okay. So this is just all flat, clean. We can see as I adjust the clean volume up and down, all the way down, we can get down to 0, and all the way up. Yeah. If we have a look at so that's bypassed, and that's with the volume all the way up. So that's the kind of boost you'll get out the pedal on clean. You've got the presence control, kind of because it's high frequency. That's kind of boosting it a bit. Remove that. Shorting the power. Treble again, because that's a high frequency. That's boosting that. That's the bass. The buffer. So this here is the buffer. It's a transparent buffer. It really doesn't affect the sound at all, apart from increasing the input impedance and stopping that treble drop off. I mean, you can see that's without it engaged. With engaged, there's no. You see nothing, right? No volume drop. That's really absolutely transparent. That's normal, and of course on the bright, if we flick it to bright, it's lower gain. Let's just have a quick look at sustain. So I think I'll probably make that red LED a bit brighter. Sustain brings on the green. There's the sustain. We can look at the sustain volume. It is, in absolute terms, it's smaller amplitude than the clean, because it's much higher perceived volume. So that's the EQ flat, and then we're matching the behaviour of the IC100 EQ circuit. As we increase the treble, we get that nice spiking off there. This is just what I measured on the real one, and the bass is doing this. Yeah, there we go.